Is Bellevue now a different team? Has the bubble burst at Kings Lynn? Is it business as usual for the Bartman? Will Birmingham get some good luck tomorrow and actually run a meeting? All of these questions and more can be answered only in Speedway. It's been a slow news week.
Just a bit, yes. I did watch you struggling to put that together. So
we should a couple of things that we should say on the off. First of all, is what the hell was that moped at the beginning?
Sorry, I went onto this French site and it says it was a Speedway bike, but obviously
right.
isn't, is it?
it's not the one
it's
that
a
Bob's
Sink-
bikes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob.
Sinclair
Give you this
C5.
sniff, man.
And we should say get well soon to Leon Flint.
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, took a knock while celebrating a race win at Berwick. So
Yeah.
Okay, explain. So by what was he doing?
he was pulling a wheelie, I think.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I bet he doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah. Silly boy.
I always remember Jason Lyons watching Ben Powell doing wheelies at the first Pearson practice, and he turned around and he said, "Yeah, should keep his front wheel on the floor."
Typical Jason. So.
Yeah, yeah. Would you like to let people know right from the off how they can join in, please?
Okay, so if you're listening on Facebook, well done, you made it. Okay, you can listen to us also on YouTube, and you can find this podcast from Wednesday afternoon. On most formats that include Spotify, Apple, Google, Acast, and quite a few others. There you go, as easy as that.
And if you put and the most important thing that Chris always forgets to say, if you put your comments in any of those forums, on Facebook or even on our Shoutbook on our live page, we will pick them up and we will comment on them.
Well, I won't because I can't see them. Unfortunately,
Mine are all blocked up
I'll
as well.
I'm just trying to make Matt look a bit bigger because he's like a dwarf in that one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the youngest one in the room, to be fair. So.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's not saying a lot either, to be fair.
Quite some distance, I should point out. As
Wow.
well, so.
Wow.
Okay. So people sound a bit quiet, so I'm just going to turn everybody up a little bit.
Okay.
And let me know what that looks like, guys. There you go.
Fantastic. Okay, so while we're waiting for people to comment and say what a load of rubbish this is, I'd like to comment on a couple of Birmingham Speedway things, I imagine. And I know you want to talk about some Speedway programmes.
Speedway programmes in general, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some old programmes here which I'm going to...
Which is sort of pertinent to what's just come up on the Birmingham site, actually.
Right, okay.
So, meanwhile, the Birmingham Consortium have listened to the views of the supporters over the readmission arrangements following the abandoned meeting against Berwick caused by Josh Orty's unfortunate accident. Having already dug deep to fund an extra ambulance and paramedic for all other home meetings this season to ensure the same situation does not arise again, they have also been considering the supporters and what they can do for them. Whilst it is not appropriate to deviate from the official readmission policy agreed between all clubs and the BSPL, they have decided to offer a free programme to supporters who come along with their Berwick readmission ticket. While they appreciate that not everyone always buys a programme, they hope that the supporters will see it as a gesture of goodwill from the directors who place maximum importance on the interests of both riders and fans. Comments?
Interesting. I think that's one thing that I think the club have taken a bit of criticism for, apart from the fact that they, with the lack of medical cover, but the policy with the readmission,
which isn't their policy.
Absolutely not their policy. At the end of the day,
yes.
I sound like I'm in a pipe or something.
Sorry.
So yeah, I think that's a good move, to be honest, and I think they deserve some credit for that.
And we should also point out that Birmingham's not the only one that's had that problem.
No, Newcastle had the problem, didn't they, over the weekend? I think they had an hour delay.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, fortunately, of course, I think they obviously start Sunday evenings, not on a night like Birmingham. So, and I think, as I say, Mildenhall had it a few weeks ago where they had a 2-hour delay, but they were an afternoon track. So
yeah, it's a bit more
It does
problematic for
show
us.
that this is going to be a problem across tracks all across the country, not just at Peterborough.
Exactly. So I think a lot of the criticism that was levelled at Birmingham's way, I think, was very, very unjustified. I
think so, yeah.
So, but we spoke about that last week, so let's
move on.
Right, have we got anybody saying hello on shout box?
Yeah, we've got somebody called Chris Browne. Oh, that's me. Elliot Hunt, Bradley Gray, Brian, Jeff, Pete, Anthony, Simon, and quite a few more. There we go.
Okay. And do we have any comments to start us off with?
Anthony said, this is a fantastic gesture. I hope as many people who moaning will also comment on the gesture, although most people in our sport like to comment on the negatives and not the positives.
I think that's true. It's probably the same of most sports, to be fair. Okay, so, do you want to get started on your programme?
Yeah, well, this was sort of something that I was thinking about the other day. A few months ago, somebody delivered some old Speedway memorabilia to our house, and amongst it was a collection of programmes. Now, some of these are going back quite some way. I mean, the earliest one I've got is, show that up to the camera, is Cradley, 1948. I think you filled this in, actually, Mike. So.
He was there.
Wow.
Grand Charity Meeting, Southampton against Hull, October the 15th, 1948. And just going through some of them there, I mean, you've got... a lot of these are predominantly Cradley programmes. You've got a Leicester programme there. You've got a Wimbledon programme. What's a great old name from the past, Stoke. This is from when they were at Sun Street rather than Luma Road. Really obscure one there. Yarmouth Speedway. I don't know whether anybody who's watching or listening ever went to Yarmouth. Obviously a couple of Wolves programmes as well. You've got a World Final programme from 1963, I think it was. Yes. Exeter, Poole, Coventry. These are with Charles Ochiltree's programme notes that you needed the dictionary to understand what he was saying. But it got me thinking, what are people's perceptions of programmes today? I mean, do you still buy a programme? Because of course you can download the scorecards now, and some people like myself, of course, have got the Speedway programme app. Do you feel do you like your club's programme? Do you feel that the programmes today are value for money? I mean, the most recent programme I've got is Oxford 1980, it's 20 pence. So they've come on quite a bit since then. I mean, these programmes are quite thin, to be fair. So there was a lot of small type in it there, and the programme is now quite substantially thicker, to be fair. I think Birmingham do a good programme, to be fair.
I think it's a
it is a good programme.
I struggle to read it before the meeting starts, so I have to read it when I get home.
But there's a lot to read in there, though, isn't there? So it's well laid out. It's bright and colourful as well.
Yeah, I do like it. But I mean, you know, I'm going to get on one of my favourite hobby horses now, which is that programmes you should be able to download them.
Football clubs do it, don't they? Quite a few of them do. So.
Is that right? Football clubs, you can download the programmes?
As far as I know,
you know what? I don't know.
Some of them I think you do have they do give the option to. So.
Oh right, okay. I've got to admit, I've not seen that at Birmingham. I'll be wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, we said football clubs.
Oh right. Oh, see. Well, I do like football. That's why I support Birmingham City.
That doesn't make any sense. But
No,
let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so a great meeting at Wolves last night. Masters, Morris and Douglas were on fire for Wolves, 53-37 win. Kings Lynn struggled to keep up with us with a few illnesses and other issues. Superb crowd too. That's from Elliot Hunt. I think you've got a different view on that one, haven't you?
It was a great win, to be fair. I mean, it was a superb performance from Wolves. I don't think it was a particularly good meeting. I went there with quite high expectations because of Kings Lynn's form. I thought it was going to be a really tough meeting, especially with Richie Worrell at reserve. I thought, well, he's going to deliver big things at reserve. I think he only scored 4 points, but it was a disappointing meeting. Probably Kings Lynn contributed to the fact that they were quite poor. Thomas Jorgensen rode very well. I think he was definitely the pick of Kings Lynn's riders. I think he got 7 or 8. Niels Everson was very poor, just 3 points from him at number 1. I mean, this is a track where he's got the track record as well.
Right.
So, yeah, it was a good start from a Wolves perspective. in what looked like it was going to be a potential banana skin with, as I say, Kingsley having had such a strong start to the season. But they didn't really deliver last night. I was quite disappointed with Kingsley, to be honest. It was a good crowd, and they got through the meeting fairly quick as well for a TV meeting. You know, that was one of the big gripes that a lot of people have had with the TV meetings, is they take too long to get through. But it was less than 2 hours before we were leaving Mama last night. So yeah,
that's always good.
That was good in that sense. But from a racing perspective, I was pretty underwhelmed, I have to say.
And has anybody out there actually watched it on Eurosport and give us their views on how the coverage was? Because obviously, Nigel Pearson. Still can't believe that.
Still disbelieving, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah.
So.
There's a great piece about him in this week's Speedway Star.
Yeah.
Which, just underlines how important and how big to this sport he was. Elliot Hunt says, Birmingham tracks look great. Finished putting covers down by 6 p.m. tonight. That's good going. Need more volunteers, though, on Tuesdays. And after meeting on Wednesday, it should be a good meeting with Carl Howarth guesting for Josh Orty. Also got new 50-50 tickets tomorrow. We won't talk about the 50-50 tickets for a bit unless people want us to. But yeah, we're running so much on volunteers at Birmingham at the moment. It's unbelievable. So any help anybody that's coming can give, oh my God, we'll just take your arm off. Okay, so Elliot wants me to talk about the tickets, so we'll put them on. 50-50 tickets using 4 different colours, red, blue, white and yellow paper to match the rider helmet colours. All 4 colours will be sold on entry to the stadium, £1 each. If you buy all 4 tickets, one of each colour, you will receive a free green ticket. So there you are.
So just explain to me 50-50, what does that mean?
So we'd run a raffle at Birmingham. I think they do it at a lot of other clubs as well.
Yeah.
And 50% goes to the club and 50% goes to the supporters club. And they're using that to help pay for the air fence.
Yeah, Bradley Gray says there he always buys a programme. I think a lot of people sort of have a buy programme really. I mean, it's quite a common thing to collect programmes, isn't it? I know people who've got massive collections of
I
programmes.
did start collecting them, and I just thought, no, got rid of them.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I did collect programmes for a period of time, but it gets to a point when you think, well, I don't look back at them again afterwards. So, is there really any point in keeping them? To be honest, I know Peter Collins has got a fabulous collection of all the World Final programmes. And all of them, apart from 3, are signed by the winners. So I mean, that would be something that would be worth quite a lot of money to PC, to be fair. And I think he's got a substantial collection of Bellevue programmes as well. So it's a common thing in programmes. I think the little club badges as well that you used to get every season.
I used to have some of them. With the bars. I used to get one of those. I'm showing my age. Oh God.
Yeah. So, but it's a fascinating thing because I think unlike any other sports, I mean, a programme is in a sense quite important, isn't it? Because you need it really to understand what's going on. To be honest, but as I say, you've got the option of downloading a programme, creating one yourself. The My Speedway app, which I use. So I mean, is the programme? I mean, the programmes now. I mean, the walls. I don't buy a programme. I haven't bought a programme now for about 10 years.
No, I tend not to buy them when I go. Dave Tyner was shocked at the last Brum match. My programme was 8 pages only.
Some of these are about that length, to be honest.
To be honest, there ain't much more to talk about, is there? Is you on about the football?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. A lot of football clubs now call them matchday magazines. It didn't look a great meeting on the tally, said Rich Thomas. No passing, Crumpy doing his best, but not the same. The coverage was okay. Jason Crump with Calvin, dreadful to watch. Okay. It was okay, a bit laggy on my old laptop.
Yeah, to be honest, if you're gonna watch anything streaming, you need something a bit of oomph, and you do need a good broadband with at least 100 megs, I think.
So I'm taking it from the comments that Crumpy was doing the commentating.
I think he was doing the car commentating with Kelvin Tatum. So,
but give him chances. Or
absolutely, yeah. I do wonder whether they'll maybe bring somebody in to work alongside Kelvin Tatum.
Whether he'll want them to is another thing. Yeah. There was a couple of comments up there. Having signed Zager, there was a tremendous impact against Peterborough and a fantastic result against the reigning champs. But next Monday, Zager has a meeting with his Polish club and aces away at Peterborough. England is priority, but as we know, Polish clubs don't like their riders missing matches. Be interesting to see who he rides for.
That was a huge shock, that result, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a big result.
Yeah.
As I said, perhaps it's time for the Dad's Army. I'm aware I'm nicking your line here. Dad's Army to be demobbed.
Stupid boy.
Hey.
Stupid boy.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a good signing.
It is a good signing.
It will be interesting to see who he rides for.
It was a signing that I think Bellevue needed to make because pre him coming in, that was a team that wasn't going to be trouble in the top four.
Worst kept secret in Speedway. Yes. Let's have a go down. Brian's talking about last week's programme was the four-sided edition from the rained-off match against Poole, plus an 8-page supplement for the Berwick fixture. Anthony Bailey, can we make a 50-50 card payment? I don't know. I have to talk to the supporters club about that. Let's talk about the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Bartosz Marszalik didn't get it all his own way, but when he got to the pointy end,
he delivered, didn't he? It wasn't his best. It wasn't his best performance by any means on Saturday. The early way was really made by Robert Lambert. I thought he rode really well the first couple of races, just faded a little bit towards the end. Dan Bewley certainly didn't disgrace himself.
No,
I think he scored 5-6 points.
But looked
racy.
Looked
racy.
racy.
Yeah. But I think Ty Wuffins would be a massive concern. I mean, he looked really low when he was interviewed after the meeting. Scored 4 points. Just doesn't look as if he's got any pace.
No, which is something that we've been saying for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
Something that he's been saying for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It wasn't a typical GP track, though, was it?
No. It was a good meeting, though. It stopped.
I mean, from the point of view of Ty Woffington's form and so on, it wasn't a typical sort of GP track, so that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, but it was a very good meeting. The track was it looked very dry and dusty to begin with, but once it settled down, there was some really good racing.
It's a very strange colour.
It is a strange colour, to be fair, but it was certainly an impressive meeting, and I think the new promoters really have made a big effort to sort of make it an event as well. Clearly, they've spent a lot of money on the surrounding things there. I thought the coverage was very good as well.
Right.
Kelvin Tatum was clearly subdued, but I think that was understandable. I think it was important that he had someone like Chris Louis alongside him, who he's obviously worked with before and knows from the obviously racing with him during his racing career. So there's potential there. I do enjoy listening to Chris Louis. To be fair, I think he always impressed me when he was doing a lot of punditry for Sky,
right,
when they were doing the Speedway.
Well, he certainly has all the knowledge, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we see anybody beating Schmarshlik? I mean,
well, you don't know. It's certainly going to need somebody else to raise their game. I tend to think the one that's going to get the closest to him is probably going to be Magic Janowski.
Yeah.
He looked quick, but he didn't have any answers to Smosnik in that in those final couple of races. To be honest, all the pressure's really on Smosnik, isn't it? Because everybody's expecting him to just walk away with it.
Yeah. But, there's not a lot else to say about the meeting, is it? When is the next one?
It's a couple of weeks, of course. It's in Warsaw, the National Stadium in Warsaw. So, of course, which hasn't staged Grand Prix for a couple of years, but has always produced a very good racetrack in the seasons that it's staged it before.
Right, is there any more comments you would like to...
Going back to the 50-50 card, can we make a 50-50 a card payment? I never carry cash anymore, and I know many others don't. I would be willing to have a go every week if card was accepted. I know it's difficult, but it's the world we live in.
I'm sure there are people out there that can answer that. It's a supporters club thing, but I mean, what I would suggest is talk to them tomorrow and ask the question. Anything else?
Dave Twine says, I stand by the pits and I cannot hear the tannoy there, so I could have won all the draws for all I know. Craig says, did anybody predict that mauling of the league champions at Bellevue yesterday? I probably did, that's why I'm saying
I don't think anybody predicted Peterborough to win, to be fair, but not to lose by that many.
2 blown engines from Scott Nichols, so an expensive day for him, and Harris seemed to have bike trouble breaking down twice. Bellevue, quick out the gates, but some good racing. Shame Peterborough weren't at the races. I expect next Monday's meeting to be closer at the showground.
Who have they got next Monday?
It's the repeat, isn't it?
Okay. Yeah, at the showground.
Yeah.
Duh. The answer was in the
Go back to
question.
programmes. Brian Buck says, oldest programme I have is a facsimile of a meeting at Perry Bar on the 14th of July 1928. This was only the second ever meeting staged at the track and featured a team fixture between Sunback and Ilford motorcycle clubs. Wow.
There is actually a Birmingham programme amongst this lot.
I've got that or I used to have it. I
England
don't
v
think I've got it
Sweden,
anymore.
June 1972 at Birmingham Speedway.
I would have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not the 1928 one.
No, not
Oh,
the
right.
28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I may put some photographs of these programmes on
Yeah,
the group a bit later on. I mean, the Yarmouth one is an astonishing one because I don't think Yarmouth stayed Speedway for very long, did it? So
I didn't know that they had, to be honest. Yeah, any more?
It was hard to watch as I was watching. Oh, Tilton Talk. Yeah, it's a great show. That is on the same screen. Brilliant show. That is absolutely fantastic. 50-50, a great idea. I always buy one of each colour. We've done that one, haven't we?
No.
At Bellevue, we also have Chase Ball
Challenge.
Chase Ball Challenge, where it's £1 a ball. You throw it at the interval, and closest to the white touchline on the pitch wins the Ace T-shirt. That's a great idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah, and gets to watch Heat 15 from the centre green. Great idea to involve the kids. Adults love it as well. They would.
Bellevue do a lot of really good stuff with getting the crowd involved. Though I really have always been impressed with what Bellevue have done, especially since they moved to the new stadium.
Barker gone to replace Heaps at Ipswich. Yeah.
Ipswich have got all sorts of problems at the moment.
They've not had a great start. And Cameron Heaps hasn't
I don't think
been pulling any trees
I don't
up.
think Jason Dawes had a particularly good start.
No.
And Danny King's not had a great start to the season either. So lot to do for Ipswich, I think, if they're going to be.
Is Ben Barker an answer? Well, you know what you get with him, I suppose.
Yeah.
You get 100% always.
Anthony has replied to Elliot regarding the 50-50 card payments. He says, unfortunately not. We don't have a card machine on the 50-50 table. What did you make of the TV presentation of the GP? I think it looks so much better and professional.
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah. I liked. What was good as well was that they had a minute's applause for Nigel
I
Pearson
heard about it, yeah.
at the stadium, and of course, like they did at Bellevue when I was there, they played I think they played the commentary of Bombers' win at Cardiff over it. So
Is Wuffenden still carrying an injury? Doesn't look domestic, and
he's not had a great start to the season. has he?
No. I mean, it could possibly be carrying an injury, but he's not said he's carrying an injury. I'm not reading the next one out.
why?
Because it's just better coming from you.
All right, okay then. After following Speedway for almost 60 years and programmes all that time, I now have a garage full dating to the 1940s. A fine collection, but now into my 70s, I have no idea where they'll end up. Tony Nuneaton, Mike's cousin.
Hello, Tony. Tony's a Coventry supporter.
I
and
see.
was looking forward to coming to the first meeting at Birmingham, and we all know that got rained off.
Okay.
How you doing, Tony? Good to hear from you.
What's happening with the updates at all?
I haven't heard
It's about
anything for a
I
while.
think it's about a week away from the deadline for all comments to go in. So if you haven't already put your comments in supporting that, please do.
Yeah, absolutely. Bradley Gray says the only person who can get close to Zmarzlik is Laguta, who isn't in.
Realistically, I think he's right. Unfortunately.
Okay. I'm looking at the time. Okay, so I'm just.
Out of interest, what is the price of the programme at Peterborough now?
Do you know what? I don't know. Because I don't buy one, do I?
No,
Because
no,
because
no.
I
That's right, you
Oh,
work
never-
on the track, so
And
I
you never
get
part
one.
with money anyway, do you?
£2.60 is the cost of the programme at Wolves, which I personally don't think is very good value for money because I don't think the Wolves programme is very good.
Right.
Hence why I don't buy it. I've got me
Right.
scorecard.
To me, that sounds really cheap.
Mm.
Is it just nothing in it?
How much is it a football match?
Yeah, a lot more.
A lot more than
Well,
that,
give
yeah.
us an
Yeah,
idea.
they're around about a fiver, aren't they?
Right. I don't know. That's why.
Well,
I'm
I don't buy programs myself.
So,
I haven't bought programs
well,
for
as I say, I
years.
mean, Oxford 1980, 20 pence with the programmes then. So,
Yeah.
granted, then as I say, they're not the thickest programmes, but
Yeah. I don't know. I've got a feeling it might be. No, I'm not going to say what I think
'Cause you might be
because I
miles
might,
off.
I might be
Yeah.
totally wrong. I don't want to do that. But I'm sure somebody out there will let us know. Talking about
we have got a match
Programmes.
by the way, haven't we, tonight?
We have got the Plymouth.
Unfortunately, I don't have my phone with me because I've got nothing left on it, so...
Okay, well, I'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm sure somebody out there will do. £3 for Birmingham programme. Okay, I read that the shop at Brum will take programmes off you, but they have got to be blank. Okay, talking of programmes, the thing that's always interested me about programmes is there's not really, other than meet the teams, and this is Berwick and this is or whoever it is you're racing against, there's very little from the other team in the programmes. And I just feel it would be an if you want, so I go to away and I don't buy a programme because I look at it and it's nothing that's particularly relevant to me.
No. That's one big problem I think with programmes,
So
unfortunately.
if they had, if each team had to have a piece in there by the opposition's team manager,
Yeah.
that would then be something to read and look at, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be good, to be honest. It's something that I think that clubs could look at in the future. I think we've discussed before, haven't we, about the possibility of about having apps where you can sort of update the scores automatically. Certainly, I think for kids, that's probably the way forward. I think
Absolutely.
I think young kids don't really want to be standing there all night doing a load of writing, do they? Which we
You
often do.
you talk to people that have never been to a speedway match but have been to other sports and so on, and they see that and they immediately think it's weird when all of a sudden at the end of a heat everybody goes down
I know,
and
yeah.
they think it's weird. I obviously don't think it's weird because I'm used to that.
Yeah.
It's part of going to speedway, but they think it's really weird. I'm just looking for the Plymouth match. There we go.
So there's one here that's quite a iconic one. Is Wolves Crowd in 1970, which was Ollie Olsen's Wolves debut. That one there. So it is first of his many 12-point maximums, I believe, in that one for the club. So
So we've got Plymouth 37 with Chris Harris guesting and Paul Pirates 29.
oh, that doesn't surprise me. Plymouth have had a good start to the season, haven't
Haven't
they?
they?
They don't look a particularly strong team, but they've been getting some good results, haven't they? They had a great win on Friday at Scunthorpe.
Going with three guests, of course, Plymouth. They've got Chris Harris, Jason Edwards and Ben Morley. Already.
Yeah, Jim Turner says Ben is a good replacement for Cameron Heaps, and on scorecards 2 or 3 years ago there was an app that you could use on a smartphone, basically a digital scored. Well, that is what I've got
Yeah,
one now,
that's-
my,
yeah.
my Speedway. There was another one, wasn't there, was it called Speedway Programme?
Yes, there was, yeah.
So There are some about, so...
Yeah, if you check on your smartphone where you get your apps from, you'll just put in Speedway Programme and you'll get something. Nick Green, the only programme I've got left is the Ollie Olsen farewell meeting on the 30th of October 1983. The Brandonapolis Kenny Carter won it from Eric Gunderson.
Yeah, so if you've got one older, let us know. What's the oldest programme you've got in your collection? There we go.
Well, the oldest one in this one's 1948, so,
Yeah.
so see if anybody can...
Can anybody beat
Well, we've
that?
already had... Well, does it count if it's a
I
facsimile?
don't know whether that counts, to be
I don't
honest.
think it does, no. What is a facsimile? Not an Italian dish, is it?
Answers on a
I've got.
Hey, you want to give me a plate of that facsimile? See, that was my German accent.
German?
I thought it was Scottish. Wow, needs more practice.
It does a bit, doesn't it?
Just a bit,
Just a bit. Wolverhampton, we spoke about their great
Win last
night against Kingsley. We had a few people, differences of opinions on that, about whether it was a good match or not. Where do you think Wolves are now in the pecking order?
Well, I think Bellevue's signing of Matty Zagar has really sort of transformed their team. I still think Sheffield are the outstanding team at the moment because they've got strength all the way through. I think Wolves are probably third, fourth bracket at the moment. You know, going to be a good chance of being in top four, I think.
Which is all you need to do.
But I think, you know, at the moment, I would probably say Sheffield and Bellevue look stronger, with especially Bellevue now with the changes that they've made. Kingston, I think, will do better than they did. They didn't show up last night, but I think they are a better side than that. Peterborough, early days, of course, they haven't had a great start. Scott Nichols hasn't had a particularly fantastic start to the season for Peterborough, unfortunately. I know Bellevue's not his sort of track, and I think you can probably say the same thing with Hans Andersen as well, in all fairness. So it's a competitive league, I think. Ipswich, I think, maybe the...
As Bradley Gray says there,
Craig Smith says, I love filling out programme scores. One of the big bears of Speedway is programme inserts to all programmes, but still insist on charging full price. I have to say, I do agree with that.
And Dave Twine's been Googling facsimile, an exact copy or reproduction as of a document.
Oh.
Okay.
Quick good.
That really was. Poole losing by 8 at Plymouth.
Did you buy the Poole Birmingham match last week, by the way?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
I wished I hadn't.
It was certainly wasn't the best of meetings, was it?
No. I mean, we hung on. We were still with him with the chance of getting a point until the last few heats, really, and then it was like, okay. I thought
Ashley Morris rode well.
Ash Morris rode quite well.
Rode very well, yeah.
He's had a decent start to the season, actually. I also thought Adam Ellis is starting to look more the rider we was expecting. Klaus Vissin was a bit missing.
Up and down, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, he's had a fairly decent start to the season actually, but he wasn't. He doesn't seem to like the Poole track.
The one thing that came across in that meeting was that there didn't seem to be very much in the way of atmosphere in the stadium.
No, I
which I
would
mean,
agree.
you know, Poole have obviously been the outstanding club of the last sort of 20 years, haven't they? But it wasn't. It didn't really get the impression that it was a place that was bouncing. To be honest, it was the atmosphere seemed quite
subdued.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think we got a sort of the camera work wasn't really designed to show that either. So only old programme I have saved is the 1976. The only old programme I have saved is the 1976 World Final won by Pete Collins, signed by him, and I was fortunate enough to go as well.
What was the crowd for that meeting? It was over 100,000, wasn't it? It was at Katowice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So where would that have?
Poland,
Poland,
Katowice.
Elliot Hunt, track was quite poor for the Poole meeting last week. Birmingham tried really hard. Morris, Ellis and Nielsen did superb. Vissing struggled to perform. Poole top through were way too strong, so we couldn't get near in the end. As I covered the updates, had to watch the stream for that purpose.
Yeah. I've never been a fan of the Poole track, if I'm being blunt. You know, I mean, I hear a lot of people rave about it, but it's never really. I mean, the old Poole track before it was reshaped, I thought was too narrow. I mean, this one's wider, but still not a great racetrack, I don't think. I'm just waiting for all the Poole fans to suddenly appear on the stream and start flying at me for saying that.
Well, I mean, it's an opinion, and if there's anybody there that's got a different opinion, we'll just sit here and watch the fun.
We were talking earlier about some of the upsets last week. What do you think was the biggest upset last week in Speedway?
I would say probably Plymouth winning at Scunthorpe. Certainly didn't have that I don't think
I don't think anybody picked that, did they?
No, I think one did. I think the one who did pick it actually got the score right as well.
Wow.
So
Really? Simon, was it?
it wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me.
Wasn't
No,
you?
I'm not that clever. I'm brilliant. In fact, I'm really brilliant. But
You're something else.
yeah. Look at the...
In a minute.
Okay.
Ex-rider Michael Lawrence had the original of my 1928 programme, This is Brian Buck, which I borrowed from him and photocopied. As Mike has now passed on, I don't know what became of his collection of old programmes, but my old friend Brian Butt has a marvellous collection of Seymour.
Click on Seymour. Go on.
It's Brian Bott, not Brian Butt.
Oh yes.
I said Butt.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, he didn't. I'm going to rewind.
Has a
it.
marvellous collection of Birmingham programmes dating from 1937.
Yeah.
David James says Bellevue is the best track in England.
So I've got a drawer.
Is it
full.
really?
I've got a drawer full of.
I can hear Peter Adams saying it should be for all the money that's been spent on it.
Yeah.
I remember him saying that a couple of years ago. But Bellevue is a fantastic track. You you can't go there and not really be impressed by the whole thing.
Best track in the country.
Depends on which particular day.
At the
I think.
moment, I would say probably yes. I think the Birmingham track is obviously now improved with the work that's gone on. I know we haven't seen a lot of it so far, but I think I was really impressed by the way that it took all that rain during the
Gosh, yeah.
the Catals.
Is that as a neutral or genuine?
That's a neutral, yeah. That's as a neutral, yeah. I liked Somerset. It's a real shame that track closed.
Yeah.
Because that was a pretty good track as well.
Yeah. Track our track was based on.
Yeah, you'll notice I haven't said my club's track, so
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Wolf as a sort of somebody that's not a Wolverhampton supporter, it is a bit of a trick track, but you can race on it.
Well, I've always said the best racing I've seen at Wolves during the years I've been going was probably 2006 to 2010. There was some terrific racing at Wolves that time during that period of time. I just wonder whether the bikes now have got too fast for the track, and it's not really a track that's geared to the modern
Right.
bikes. I don't think it's anything to do with the track preparation, because the track preparation at Wolves is still very good. Although, of course, we've now no longer got Doc Bridget doing the track, because he's sadly had to retire due to ill health. So, but I don't think anybody who watched Wolves in that period of time that I mentioned there would ever have any complaints about the racing at Monmouth Green then.
No. Brian Buck, all the best tracks are those which do not have a surrounding greyhound track. I think there is some truth in that.
I think that's partially a problem, isn't it? I think
Is that purely because you're closer?
I think
to
so.
the action.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because
Well-
it has to follow the.
The contours of the track, yeah.
Yeah.
David James he agrees with you regarding Bellevue. He says Wolfie said he could ride Bellevue every week. He would come back, and he also says Bellevue is the best track in England.
Sheffield's a good track. I've only been there once, I think, but it was whenever I've watched the racing there, it's a good fast track. Peterborough I like as well. I like Peterborough's track. My team don't usually do very well there.
Yeah, I do like Peterborough's track. They all have one thing in common, don't they?
Yep.
They're big.
Yeah. There's something to be said about that, I think. Especially when you think that all the big meetings seem to be staged on big track ends as well. So
Size isn't everything, apparently.
Okay, let's hope so. Newcastle now have no floodlights, according to Bradley Gray.
Okay.
Jeff says the prediction league is fairly competitive, only 10 points from top to 15.
It is, yeah.
Who's 15th?
Who's 15th? Oh, probably Mike.
Off your trot.
I think we should probably get into this now, because we've got the fixtures up as well.
Okay, so let's give everybody a laugh. Fixtures are up now, and
It's sad, isn't it, that out of the three of us, the one of us that really knows very little about Speedway is the one that's
yeah. See,
in front.
the plan is, I was speaking to Matt before the show, is that I'm going to try and win, so that I don't have to.
Don't have to fork out for the
I don't have to fork
t-shirt.
out for the
Does that count if we me or him wins?
you pair ain't going to win.
Well, he
Okay.
certainly won't win, I don't think. So,
No way.
It's early days, yeah.
unless you make some dramatic changes.
I'm selling him Matty Zagar next week.
Yeah, so let me know when you want to go to the fixtures, and we'll get that up as well.
Well, shall we
Yeah, I've put them up on the.
Okay.
get started on it?
Well,
So for those of you that are new to our show, we do a prediction. The Nigel Pearson Prediction League every week. And basically, it does what it says on the tin.
Mm-hmm.
We try to predict the races, the results of all the matches coming up.
Yeah.
And you can do the same. Just shove it on the shout box, shove it on... where do they shove it?
I can shove it wherever they like. No, basically we'll find it. If you put it on either the group page or the group itself, we'll find it. Or you can attach it to one of these streams.
And you'll get put onto the... onto the league.
And don't feel it's
And in
too
a
late
couple-
for you. Have a go.
Yeah,
Have
and
a
in a
go.
couple of weeks you'll go past me.
Yeah. Your challenge is to go above Mike, so
There
which is
we
pretty
go.
easy.
Yeah, I'm not having a good season.
Yeah. By the way, I should apologise because I did miss the Kingsley Wolves match off the post.
I would have
night.
been so much.
Yeah,
now.
sure, yeah.
So, but I will amend that, and obviously if you haven't put that on, please put that on. If you've put all the other ones, I haven't missed that one.
Before we go any further, I'm just going to have a look at Plymouth versus Poole at the moment. Wow, Plymouth Gladiators 40 and Poole Pirates 32, and that's
Not quite over yet, then.
no, not quite over. Ben Barker's had a good few heats. Okay,
So let's start off then with Birmingham against Scunthorpe tomorrow night.
that's up to
Why
Chris,
is it up to me?
because this year that we're
Okay,
starting
then.
with you. Next year
Okay.
we'll start with me.
Right, okay. I'm going to go Scunthorpe by 6.
Who was it against? Sorry, Scunthorpe.
Birmingham.
No, of course it-
So you've gone Birmingham by 6.
He went Scunthorpe by 6.
I did go
Oh, you
Scunthorpe
went
by 6.
Scunthorpe by 6.
I'm going to go over and hit him. I'm going to say Birmingham by 10.
I think this has got the potential to be a cracker. This one. I'm going to go Birmingham by 4.
They're going to be due.
I think so, yeah.
Not tomorrow.
Due to get through a meeting as well, I think so.
Well, I think it's almost
Yeah.
imperative, really, that we win that match.
Okay, we've got quite a few National League matches, of course, coming up this week. The first one, Oxford against Berwick tomorrow night.
Up to me, isn't it?
Yep.
I'm going to say Oxford by 6.
I've gone Oxford by 8.
I'll go Oxford by 10.
Okay, next one is Ipswich against Bellevue.
Up to you, Matt.
Bellevue by 10.
I'll go Bellevue.
I'm going to go Bellevue by 10 as well.
Don't like it. Next one, Kings Lynn against Wolves on Thursday.
That's up to you, Chris.
I'll go... No, don't give me any help. No. I'm going to go Kings Lynn by 8.
I do think the bubble might have burst.
You think so?
Possibly. I'm going to say Wolverhampton by 2.
I was going to say the same scoreline, but the other way around.
Okay.
In fact, I'm going to stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like going into my own. Needs must sometimes.
Well, you get a point if you lead
Yep.
point, don't you?
Okay, next one, Sheffield against Peterborough.
Okay, I'm going to say Sheffield by 16.
Sheffield by 20 I've gone for on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go Sheffield 12. And Bradley Gray says Ben Morley do.
Yes, he has been doing well.
He had a good start to the season, hasn't he, Ben Morley?
Yeah.
Okay, next up, Glasgow against Plymouth.
Glasgow.
It's a long old trip if you're a Plymouth fan, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's up to you, Matt.
Glasgow by 10.
Go Glasgow.
I'm going to say Glasgow by 8.
Okay,
We've got some predictions up there. Lynn by 4, Sheffield by 14, Sheffield by 16.
okay. Next up, we've got Armadale against Oxford.
And that will be up to you, Chris.
I'll go.
I'm actually going to agree with you on that one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've gone Armadale by 8. Next up is Bellevue against Leicester, also in the NDL.
Apparently there's been a rumour that Pickering and Iverson
No,
might
I haven't
have
seen that.
COVID.
No, I haven't seen that.
Who was this one again, sorry?
Bellevue against Leicester. The
I'm going to say Bellevue by 6.
Bellevue by 4.
10.
Oxford by 6, Armadale by 12. Okay,
On to Saturday in the Championship, Leicester against Oxford.
You missed one. Oh, no, sorry.
definitely you're bad. Go on, Matt.
Leicester by 20.
Leicester by 18.
Okay. NDL again. Berwick against Bellevue.
Yes, it is.
I'll go Bellevue by...
I'm going to say Berwick by 4.
Okay. Next one up, Newcastle against Glasgow on Sunday. Great to see those points on the board, obviously. Berwick
Yeah,
had
we
their
should have
problems,
mentioned
but,
that. They've had immense problems.
Yeah.
Newcastle versus Glasgow. Oh, it's my go, isn't it? Glasgow by 6.
Glasgow by 10.
I'll go Glasgow.
Bit of the sympathy vote there.
Okay, next one, Peterborough against Bellevue.
versus Bellevue. It's up to you now.
Arguably must win for Peterborough after last night. So draw.
Do you know, I knew you was going to say that.
I want to bring up something shortly about. I think it was Steve Ward's suggestion about the draw.
Okay.
You do. So we'll go through it first.
Oh, yeah.
Chris?
I'm going to go 4.
In which case, I'm going to go Peterborough by 2. I need to do something different to try and gain some points.
Yep. Wolves against Ipswich is the penultimate one.
That's a big word for you. 1.
These are one before the last.
This is up to you, Chris.
I'm going to go.
Wolves by 12.
Wolves by 16. That's unusually and frighteningly confident for me. And last but by no means least, Plymouth against Oxford.
Plymouth against Oxford. I'm going to say Plymouth by 10.
Okay.
No.
I've gone Plymouth by 10, yeah.
That concludes the
Surely does.
Nigel Pearson.
Yeah, Craig Smith just brought their back, could not have been able to have draws. That match was in the, I think that was, no, sorry, yeah. No, sorry. Ignore me, I'm talking rubbish again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing about, because of the Super 8 as well, I mean, I think Scott, Steve's suggestion was because draws aren't very regular in Speedway, should you get extra points for them?
Don't you get extra points for them as an away team?
Especially now with the Super Heats as well.
Don't you get extra points for draws as an away team?
Yeah.
I'm sure you do in the Premiership.
Yeah. If you predict a draw and the meeting is a draw, then you should get more than the 1 or 2 more than the 2 points. Just throwing it out there. So
yeah, we'll have to put.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt is the.
Yeah. Didn't do what you were wrong.
I think we'll stick with what we got for now. To be honest, well, it's something we can probably
let's not be like the BSPL and change rules halfway through the season.
Well, that's something we can look at for next year.
We could go one better and change the rules halfway through a season. Just to be different.
Or just change the rules so that one of us goes at the time.
Yes,
or
please.
Change the rules so that I don't win.
Yeah.
That's what's
kick
going
you
to
out?
happen.
I'm going to bring in a guest next week.
Kick you out.
I'm going to make it right.
Kick you out. See how long it takes for his nibs there to overtake you.
I'm going to have rider replacement.
And I could make it in here.
Yeah.
It's nice to see a few people having a go this week as well.
Yes,
it is a bit of.
It's a bit of fun, but you do get. Chris has promised you're going to get a solid gold cup.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, it is a mug this year, and a very nice. On Eurosports last night, the winning team gets 3 points and a loser 1 point. The result is Jeff Daniels.
I haven't really studied the Super Heats.
How often does it happen?
Well, that's it.
You and me keep predicting draws, though.
I know,
I don't think we've ever once got one. But hey ho.
As I was saying earlier, the podcast comes out afternoon. So if people can just help us, right? It just helps us in the rankings as well.
Yes.
So it helps
because we've
get the podcast, get more and more people.
We've recently been in the top 100, haven't we?
We have. We've just got out.
Plymouth 50, Pool 34, 1 heat remaining. Another good result for the Plymouth Gladiators.
I mean, Pool are the team to beat, and they beat them fairly easy.
Yeah. Pretty new. Either of the groups.
We certainly will. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing Birmingham versus Scunthorpe. I've just got a feeling Birmingham are going to surprise a few people tomorrow, particularly with the guest that we chose for Josh Orty.
Yep, Carl Howarth. Good strong choice.
I think that's not bad going.
We've got an announcement as well.
Oh, okay.
Of course, there's no Speedway show next week
yes.
or the week after. So we're back on the 24th because someone's having a holiday.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to go down the league.
Yeah, no, I'm still going to do it.
So, we will still do the...
Yep, we'll still put them up on the...
We'll still do the Pearson.
On the group page.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Remember to put them on this time as well, because obviously somebody didn't last time.
That would be me.
Partially the reason why he's so far down the table, I think. So.
Yeah.
That and the fact that I can't predict nothing. Right, there we go. Thank you very much, everybody. I think it's time to go, isn't it?
It is, yep. Yeah. It is time to go.
Have a great week, everyone. Hope your team does well, apart from when they come to Perry Bar. And good luck. Enjoy your Speedway.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. enjoy your stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today?